Struggling to learn faster and remember more? What if you could use brain science to study smarter, stay motivated, and master any skill? Learn Like a Pro by Barbara Oakley and Olav Schewe is a simple and practical guide to becoming a better learner. Learning can be frustrating. Many people struggle to get good grades, pass exams, or pick up new skills. However, the authors believe that anyone can improve if they understand how the brain works and use study methods that match how the brain learns best. In this video, we'll break down their best learning techniques, explain the science behind them, and give you practical tips to study smarter and stay motivated. Why is memory essential for learning? Your brain has two types of memory that work together to help you learn: working memory and long-term memory. To truly learn something, you need to transfer information into your long-term memory, and your working memory plays a crucial role in making that happen. Long-term memory is where real learning happens. When you learn something new, your brain creates neural connections, pathways that store information. Simple facts like a phone number form short pathways, while complex skills like coding or skateboarding require longer, stronger connections that link to other knowledge. The more you practice or review something, the stronger these pathways become, making it easier to remember. Scientists also believe that a substance called myelin coats your brain's nerve fibers, helping signals travel faster. The thicker this coating becomes through repeated practice, the quicker your recall and sharper your skills. Before information can reach your long-term memory, it first passes through your working memory. This part of your brain temporarily holds facts, processes new ideas, and solves problems. However, it has limits. It can only juggle about 3 or 4 thoughts at a time. When overloaded, it starts dropping information, making learning harder. Working memory and long-term memory constantly interact. Your working memory organizes information and strengthens neural connections. Once those connections are strong enough, the information moves into long-term storage. Then, when you learn something new, your working memory pulls from long-term memory to connect new ideas with what you already know. If you're struggling to grasp a topic, your working memory might be overwhelmed. One way to make learning easier is to simplify information, break complex ideas into simple words, and focus on the key points. Another strategy is to start with the basics. Build a strong foundation before adding more details. Finally, writing things down can help free up space in your working memory. If random thoughts distract you while studying, jot them down so your brain doesn't have to hold on to them. To summarize, strengthen your neural pathways, manage your working memory, and use smart study techniques to make your learning faster, easier, and more effective. How can you foster learning that lasts? Your brain has two ways of storing knowledge in long-term memory: declarative learning and procedural learning. Both play a crucial role in helping you learn effectively. Declarative learning stores facts and information you consciously recall, like studying for a test. It follows a logical, step-by-step process. A plus B equals C. When you need this knowledge, your brain pulls it from long-term memory through declarative pathways. On the other hand, procedural learning stores skills and knowledge so deeply that they become automatic. Think about driving a car, typing on a keyboard, or playing an instrument. Instead of thinking through every step, you instinctively recognize patterns through practice. The best way to learn is by combining both systems. First, your declarative system helps you understand a concept. Then, with enough practice, your procedural system takes over, making it second nature. Imagine learning to play the piano. In the beginning, you have to concentrate on each note, but after repeated practice, your fingers move effortlessly across the keys. This shift from a conscious effort to automatic mastery happens in every subject, including math and language. To truly understand math, it's not enough to memorize formulas. You need to know why they work. One of the best ways to do this is by solving problems step by step. Instead of just reading the solution, try to figure out each part on your own before checking the answer. The more you challenge yourself this way, the stronger your intuition becomes, and problem solving starts to feel natural. The same principle applies to learning a new language. At first, you rely on your declarative system, memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary. But to reach fluency, you need to tap into your procedural system by immersing yourself in real conversations. One of the most effective ways to do this is by spacing out your study sessions. Instead of cramming, review the material every few weeks. The longer you want to remember something, the longer you should wait between reviews. Another way to speed up fluency is by practicing in different situations. If you're learning a language, don't just stick to textbooks. Talk to native speakers, write in different contexts, and expose yourself to real-world conversations. This forces your brain to adapt, making recall faster and more natural. By blending these learning systems and practicing strategically, you won't just memorize information, you'll truly master it. How can different modes of attention help you learn? Your brain operates in two modes of attention, focused and diffuse. By using both effectively, you can better understand complex topics, overcome learning roadblocks, and improve your ability to retain new skills and concepts. Focused mode is when you deliberately concentrate on a task, like reading a textbook, solving a math problem, or memorizing new information. This mode is excellent for strengthening your understanding of familiar topics or building on existing knowledge because it relies on neural pathways that have already been established in your brain. Diffuse mode, on the other hand, occurs when you're not concentrating on anything in particular. It's the state your brain enters when you're doing routine tasks like walking, washing dishes, or commuting. Even though you're not actively thinking about a problem, your brain is still processing information in the background, making new connections between ideas. This is why insights often come to you when you least expect them, like in the shower or just before falling asleep. To truly master complex topics, you need to switch between focused and diffuse modes. When learning something simple, focused mode is enough. But for more difficult concepts, staying in focused mode alone can actually slow you down because your brain is too busy concentrating on making unexpected connections. By alternating between both modes, you allow your brain to integrate new information more effectively. Work in focused mode until you get stuck, then take a break and let your brain process in diffuse mode. When you return to focused mode, you'll often find the solution much clearer. To make the most of your focused mode, eliminate distractions. Choose a quiet study space, use noise-canceling headphones if needed, and turn off notifications on your phone and computer. Multitasking should also be avoided since constantly switching between tasks reduces concentration and increases mistakes. However, changing tasks occasionally can help spark creativity and prevent mental fatigue. When interruptions happen, quickly note where you left off to minimize the mental residue that lingers after a distraction. This helps your brain transition back into focus more smoothly. Research shows that frequent interruptions can drastically increase the time it takes to complete a task, so minimizing them is key to staying productive. Diffuse mode might feel unproductive because it doesn't involve direct studying, but it's crucial for solving complex problems. To activate this mode, take short breaks while learning. A great method for this is the Pomodoro Technique. Study for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break doing something simple like stretching or petting a pet. Avoid checking emails or social media during breaks, as these keep your brain in a focused state rather than letting it relax. How can you improve learning by boosting motivation and self-discipline? To learn effectively, you need both motivation and self-discipline. Motivation drives you to put in effort toward a goal, while self-discipline helps you stay committed even when things get tough. But the best way to improve self-discipline isn't by forcing yourself to have more of it. It's by making learning easier so you don't have to rely on willpower as much. One of the best ways to do this is by increasing motivation. When you're excited to learn, you don't need as much discipline to push through. One of the most effective ways to stay motivated is by setting compelling goals. Having a clear vision of what you want to achieve keeps you focused and makes learning feel more meaningful. Start by defining a long-term goal, something big that excites you, like starting your own business. Then, break it down into stepping stone goals. Smaller milestones that bring you closer to the bigger picture, like earning a degree or mastering a specific skill. Finally, create process goals, which are the daily or weekly tasks that keep you on track, such as studying for an exam or practicing a new technique. When you structure your goals this way, progress becomes easier to see, which keeps you motivated to continue. Of course, motivation alone isn't enough. You need a solid plan to ensure you follow through. Decide when, where, and how you'll study, and commit to it by putting it in your calendar. Simply having a plan increases the likelihood that you'll stick to it. But no matter how well you plan, distractions and obstacles will always come up. A friend may invite you out on your study day, or you may keep forgetting the materials you need. Thinking ahead and preparing for these challenges makes it easier to stay consistent. If you tend to forget important items when studying away from home, set up your bag with everything you need the night before. Another key to staying on track is recognizing how your habits impact your learning. Sometimes routines that seem harmless can actually be holding you back. For example, you may always play video games after dinner even though you focus better in the evening. Identifying these habits and making small changes, like setting a study time before gaming, can make a huge difference. The goal isn't to force yourself to study, but to create an environment where learning becomes the natural choice. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people also plays a big role in staying motivated. When you spend time with others who share your interests, learning becomes more enjoyable and engaging. Being part of a study group or even just discussing what you're learning with friends makes it easier to stay committed. It also helps with accountability. When you've told someone about your learning goals, you're more likely to follow through. However, it's important to strike a balance. Social learning can be motivating, but if conversations get off track, it can become a distraction. Finally, matching the difficulty level of a task to your skill level can have a big impact on motivation. If something is too hard, you'll feel discouraged. If it's too easy, you'll get bored. The sweet spot is where a task challenges you just enough to keep you engaged without overwhelming you. If you ever feel stuck, don't hesitate to ask for help. Breaking tasks into smaller steps can also make learning more manageable, allowing you to build confidence as you go. The key to improving learning isn't just about forcing yourself to work harder, it's about setting yourself up for success. When you have clear goals, a solid plan, supportive habits, and the right level of challenge, learning stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling rewarding. How can you excel at academic learning? To excel in academic learning, you need effective strategies for engaging with materials, reading efficiently, taking notes, memorizing, and performing well on tests. The key is to learn actively rather than passively absorbing information. One of the best ways to do this is through engaged retrieval, also known as active recall. Instead of just reading or watching content, stop and try to recall what you just learned. Explain concepts in your own words or pretend you're teaching them to a child. This forces your brain to strengthen neural connections, making the information easier to remember. Research shows that tools like AI virtual assistants can enhance this process by prompting critical thinking and discussion, leading to better retention. Similarly, learning expert Scott Young calls this method self-testing, emphasizing techniques like flashcards and creating your own quiz questions to reinforce knowledge. When it comes to reading, speed isn't everything. Comprehension matters more. Doubling your reading speed often leads to less understanding, but there are ways to improve efficiency without sacrificing retention. Start by previewing the material to get an overview of key ideas. Then, practice engaged retrieval while reading by summarizing key points as you go. Highlighting is helpful only if you review those highlights later. Another great strategy is annotation. Write down questions, key insights, and summaries in your own words. This approach aligns with the reading techniques from How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler and Charles Van Doren, which emphasize pre-reading for structure and active reading for deeper understanding. Taking notes effectively can make a huge difference in how well you retain information. Instead of passively copying words, use structured methods like the dual column technique. Write key concepts on one side of the page and summarize them on the other. When reviewing, cover one side and try to recall the missing information. Another powerful method is mind mapping, which visually organizes ideas and their connections. However, note-taking is just the first step. Regularly reviewing and engaging with your notes is what truly cements the information. For memorization, use engaged retrieval along with spaced repetition. Break up study sessions over multiple days instead of cramming. Mnemonic devices, acronyms, and visualization techniques like the memory palace can also help. As Joshua 4 explains in Moonwalking with Einstein, our brains remember vivid and unusual images much better than plain facts. When test time comes, preparation is key. Before the exam, familiarize yourself with the format, question types, and grading criteria. Make a study plan with clear goals, materials, and a schedule. Reviewing past exams can also help you identify weak spots. During the test, time management is crucial. Some experts recommend tackling the hardest questions first to activate your brain's problem-solving mode in the background, while others suggest starting with easier questions to build confidence and momentum. Will these techniques help you learn faster and remember more? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy book summaries like this, like, subscribe, and watch this one.